Hello everyone and welcome to AD Breakdown, and quickly before we start, have a look in the bottom left. I have a cool little overlay that I'll be using with XSplit to stream with, and of course doing these breakdowns with, because I actually use XSplit to do these. And as you can see, the enemy bot lane actually just took red buff, and so that's beating on Sona a little bit. We had like a little bit of a fight at level 1, and basically almost everyone on our team ended up using something. Sona, well, just Sona and Jace on our team, but Amumu goes right in here, and I didn't expect him to come so early. I didn't quite understand what he was doing, and Ezreal actually flashed there to try and get the kill onto me. Maybe he thought he had Ignite or something, or I was gonna die somehow, but I was really in no danger of dying. Maybe he didn't realise I didn't have heal. He might have maybe he didn't realise I had heal. I mean, maybe he thought I had Ignite. That's at least what I took from it anyway. So he sort of wasted his flash and his heal there, which eventually bites him in the ass. And me keeping my flash, like doing a good play and preserving my flash instead of just wasting it, which some people might have panicked there and used both the flash and the heal. So here I catch him out with the Piltover Peacemaker a little bit, doing auto attacks, ton of damage. He's already had to actually use a bunch of pots before anything's even happened, and I catch him out with another Piltover Peacemaker. You can see they actually do more damage than Ezreal's Q, and that's because they are a lot more difficult to land and they cost a bit more mana probably as well. But yeah, they still do a hell of a lot of damage if you smack them in the face with them. There's no other minions there. They're still really strong. So we get pushed under our tower a little bit. That's to be expected since Amumu ganked us a bunch and they have red buff, etc. So that's to be expected. Of course, we do have Sona Caitlyn. It's pretty good early. Sona generally beats Nunu in the lane early, and Caitlyn is often underestimated, a lot stronger than most people seem to think anyway. So just you can see where I'm placing the traps. I'm placing them defensively. Nunu's going to have a hell of a lot of trouble to go into our bush, and Nunu actually exhausts Sona there, and Ezreal runs straight into my trap, and that was the first mistake he made. He ran right into my trap. I get all my hits off, and all I have to do is just flash to pick up the kill. He would have went into my trap anyway, and I think he actually triggered it. So all I had to do is flash to get the kill, and with this one, I can't really get it. I do my Q, and Nunu just flashes out the way. Good reactions from him there to avoid getting killed. So now I have red buff. That's an amazing win for us, really. That is going to set the stage for the rest of the lane, as long as we don't mess it up. But, you know, Amumu with his lane ganks that he does can be quite difficult sometimes. But I get my double Dorans here. You can see I'm a little bit ahead of CS and Ezreal now, but not by much. But the biggest factor is going to be this red buff. Obviously, because Ezreal's been dead for ages, and then I was pushing up the lane when he wasn't here, and then I was running back to lane, which wasted even more time. Shen kind of just does a fail gank here, and he ends up making Sona use exhaust, which is kind of bad for us, because then we just don't have an exhaust for no reason other than Shen went in too far and almost died to the tower, basically. So that wasn't good from Shen, really. But here you can see I'm just kind of zoning them out as much as I can with my red buff. And whenever so on Caitlyn first, you want to kind of get an advantage, be it in farm or getting a kill like I did. You want to maintain your advantage by zoning. So I'm trying to keep them away from CS as much as I can. You can see Sona's also trying really hard to harass. That's because see, Nidalee's coming down for a gank here. There's crazy pings going out, but we knew she was coming and ended up going back. Unfortunately, Ari wanted to follow her down, and she ended up getting killed for it. So this is the problem why sometimes your mid lane might not follow you down to bottom, and that's why, because they suck and they get harassed in lane and then can't follow them. Or if they do follow them, they end up just feeding a kill. So it's a dangerous situation to get into. And an important thing is to not get too mad at your mid laner. If their mid laner comes, sometimes it's difficult on certain champions early, for example. I'm not saying that's the case here, but that's just a piece of advice I would give. Don't get too mad at your mid if the enemy mid comes down. Some people aren't as good at mid as others, and you know, they get forced into the role sometimes. But anyway, relevant stuff. So then they ended up getting forced to go back. I'm now about 15 CS ahead. He'll get a little bit there, but I'm going to be gaining an advantage over him slowly. I went back and I bought my pickaxe. I could have instead bought my Berserker Greaves and vampiric probably, but I decided to get a pickaxe instead, just get that little bit of extra damage kick over him, so you can destroy those minion waves with the Peacemaker then. They actually try to do dragon here, which just, when Sona goes over here to randomly check, I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? Just randomly doing dragon. I just didn't understand it. It must have been Nunu's idea. So I end up just ulting Nunu. I get kind of lucky that I get the kill on him there. But that's just another kill for me. It really made me wonder why the hell they were doing dragon. I guess they just thought they could do it quickly with Nunu, that's all. But I didn't even think about going and checking it. It didn't even come into my mind. It was all Sona basically there that did that. So good instincts by her. I think she was actually going to ward it anyway, so that was probably why she found out. But I'm pushing up here as much as I can. Ezreal actually went back, so that is going to get me ahead again by about 10 CS still-ish, slightly increasing a bit more. He could have actually stayed to get the CS then, and that wouldn't have been such a hard blow on him, but now I have my Zerks and my Vamp. Obviously, because we're in advantage, I'm just trying to harass him, placing the traps down, hitting him with Qs, just doing as much as I can, still not stopping the unrelentless pressure that is Caitlyn, which is what you're meant to be in the laning phase, really. And of course Sona helping me out a bit. It's a deadly combo, Caitlyn Sona. People don't realise how much harass you can put out. It's very difficult to deal with. So Shen comes in for another gank here. Even though we're winning our lane pretty hard, he keeps coming to gank, and I really don't understand why he keeps coming to gank. All he needs to do is just farm his jungle and we'll be okay, and we'll probably win anyway. But it's working out okay anyway. We get onto Nunu, just use our ultis onto Nunu and exhaust him, and he just goes down. Ezreal doesn't really have any damage. All he has is a double Dorans, so he's not really being that crazily farmed Phage Sheen Ezreal that you see sometimes, you know, that's just owning everyone. And he even manages to get caught here and die as well. It's not a particularly good game for him here. But we're going to pick up Dragon now. We had that pink ward there, so they have no vision on us here at all. And Amumu just decides, nah, screw that, I'm going to do my Wraiths. There's no real point of him coming down. That's a common mistake I see people do. They always want to contest Dragon when there's no point in doing it. A lot of times I have this where people ask me to come, especially in my old team I used to play for. Like, if say that there was 2 of us against 4 of them doing Dragon, people would always want me to go to the Dragon anyway, rather than just like push the lane and farm. Where I think if you can't do anything about Dragon, then there's no point just sitting there and watching them. You should just go and push the lane or do something else, push tower instead. That's just my opinion on it anyway. If there's nothing you can do, then what's the point? So Nunu's getting harassed a bit here. He doesn't when you get behind on Nunu, obviously they're behind now, both 0-2. It's very difficult to come back. Like, you constantly get harassed out of lane like this, and that in turn makes Ezreal lose CS. If Nunu gets low all the time, he's at a risk of dying, and Ezreal has to go back, or he will then get harassed like hell as well. And yeah, that's what we're basically doing, just harassing onto Nunu. Sona ults him there, but it's not quite enough to finish him off. And Mumu lands a really good bandage toss there, but you can see he's trying to come closer to me as well, because he wants to get me in his ult too, and he ends up getting me just in the side of it. But Ahri's coming down, and I think we can just pick off Mumu. Unfortunately, both Nunu and Ezreal are like terribly low, and we can't get them. But 1-for-1 trade, it's not that bad. It could have been worse. Ahri just kind of wasting her ult there. I probably should have gone back here. It wasn't worth me staying under the turret there, but Ahri kind of just disappeared. I think if she stayed, we could have just farmed all these bloody creeps here. Look at how many creeps are here. If she stayed, we could have just farmed all these creeps, and I thought that was what she was going to do, but really I should have asked her what she was going to do, and I shouldn't have stayed if I knew she was going to go back. But yeah, so I'm still pretty far ahead despite that. I'm not too far ahead in CS now, obviously, since I missed loads and Ezreal got it all. But I still have my kill lead and my BF sword now on top of Ezreal, since all he has is a Phage, which isn't very much, to be honest. BF sword and pickaxe is way more than a Phage. So Nunu's just getting caught once again. Caitlyn decides to, Sona decides to ult him again. Nunu just runs up and exhausts me, and I can't really get him. But Ezreal just ease in, gets exhausted, goes onto a trap again, and needless to say, he is screwed. Obviously, he does get Sona, but I just stopped here and decided to ult him, because it's a cool way to kill him. And there was no way for him to get away. Nunu was way too far away. So, I just felt like ulting him pretty much. And I think Nunu stays here and gets killed. Okay, yeah, let me show you that properly again. So I'm just pushing up the creeps here. Nunu's like 20% health. It's quite obvious he shouldn't still be here, but I just stay there, hit him with a Q, and I flash in and get him. I probably didn't even need the flash, and I could have saved my flash. And no doubt I die in like 2 minutes. I can't remember exactly, but no doubt I die in 2 minutes, end up with no flash, and blame it on, you know, that'll be a mistake I made again. So Shen wants to give me red here. I just come up and one-hit it. It's not too difficult for me to get that. Sometimes if I'm going to lose farm or get red instead, I'll just, no, you take red. I'll get the farm instead, but there, it was quite easy for me to take. So once again, back into the zoning phase where I'm just really far ahead. I've got 5 kills now, especially since Nunu gave me that one. See, Nunu uses his Ice Blast onto Sona there, and I realised, like, all that's doing is slowing Sona. It doesn't stop her damage output, so I just do as much damage to Nunu as I can. And you can see, as a fight's about to break out here, Nunu's already on 20% life just because I was harassing him down a lot. And obviously Ezreal just took a bit of damage there, but it wasn't really enough to note. But we're a little bit outnumbered here. I didn't quite realise that Jace wasn't here yet. And it looks like Shen's trying to start a fight prematurely. He probably shouldn't be starting one this early. And here I get hit by a spear. I shouldn't have... Dodging Nidalee spears, in my opinion, is just like dodging Blitzcrank hooks. If you never play against a good Nidalee throwing Nidalee spears, then you're not going to be good at dodging them. It just makes sense, right? So that's why I think something like dodging Nidalee spears and dodging Blitz hooks just comes with experience against playing against that champion. So yeah, that's, I don't know, just if you ever have trouble with dodging Blitz hooks or Nidalee spears, just constantly play, and you'll more often than not run into those champions eventually. So here, for some reason they engage when basically everyone in their team is sort of spread out, and I just hit whoever I can. You notice I didn't rush in. I was just hitting Wukong because he was basically alone. Moo didn't quite get to go in properly. I was just hitting him whenever I could. Ezreal gets over this wall, but I just decide I can just E over. Why not? Pick up another free kill. Well, Jace takes it from me, but it doesn't matter too much. And they just kind of did that fight really badly, like all of them. This is why I think Nidalee isn't that good anyway, because Nidalee there, like, she was fed before that fight, but she couldn't really do anything because of just the way Nidalee works. Like, if that Nidalee was a really fed, let's say, Morgana or something, or just something with big AoE Vlad, equally fed Vlad or Morgana, he would have done probably a bit more in that team fight, or just any other AP, really, any other AP. This is why I don't like Nidalee as an AP mid anyway. It takes a bit of fine-tuning, and you need to properly understand. You can't really do team fights like they just tried to do then, and especially when they were all split up like that too. So I get kind of left in lane a little bit by myself. Sona was just waiting for something, but it's not too big of a deal. I'm kind of okay laning against them by myself. Ezreal's going back anyway. I just go up to stop him. He actually goes a bit crazy onto me, and they end up like exhausting me and stuff. And I'm like doing my best job to stay alive. I actually did a really nice job of dodging the Ezreal ulti there. And unfortunately, they're both 20% life, and Sona just kind of comes in a little bit too late there. It's not really anyone's fault. In fact, it was good that I was able to take them that low 2v1, and they burnt a bunch of summoners as well. And I had to use my flash and my heal, but it's not too big of a deal. They burnt a bunch of stuff too. Ezreal used his flash and heal, and Nunu used his flash and exhaust, So here, I kind of get a little bit caught out. I shouldn't have been caught in that Amumu ulti. I should definitely be completely out of range of that, but oh well, I didn't take too much damage anyway. You can see Sona's healing quite a bit. I'm healing quite a bit as well. I'm just hitting whoever comes into range without engaging too much, and that spirit almost hit me then. It was very close. I'm just hitting whoever I can without engaging too much. That's a good thing to do on Caitlyn that most people probably don't do, is that they don't realise quite the extent of their auto-attack range, and you can actually poke people down before a fight even starts, like I did earlier, without them like realising that you're kind of in range of Caitlyn. So here, Ezreal just kind of gets caught out a bit. I just E towards him to get a bit closer, and I knew he didn't have flash because he used it earlier, so I'm able to just slow him down with my red buff, and I guess he kind of underestimated Caitlyn's E range, because it's probably about the same range as Ezreal's little blink, except it doesn't take you quite as well over walls and things like that. But it's a fair amount of distance it takes you, so he didn't realise, you know, with the red buff, the zeal I've got, he doesn't actually have a zeal yet, despite being Ezreal. He's kind of going with that weird Phage BF sword build that people ask me about and have seen a bunch of times. But yeah, it was it's an underestimating jump. You can actually go pretty far with it. You know, it takes you over like the Dragon Wall, a bunch of different things. I really like that part of Caitlyn. I think if she didn't have that, I probably wouldn't play her as much. It's an essential part of her ability to like actually be able to kite bruisers. So without that, I don't think I'd play her probably. Even though, you know, her auto attack range is a nice part as well. It's just when it all meshes together like that, it makes it perfect. So I catch Ezreal again here. Here he actually almost kills me because I didn't think he would stop on that brush. But I get saved by the Shen ultimate anyway, and I don't think he would have killed me anyway. But yeah, I guess he's trying too hard to just to push the wave a lot, and I'm just responding by also going and farming as well. Because once you kill their tower, a lot of times they try to just constantly push the tower when you might want to go and team fight. But I decided, since my team wasn't really forcing me to go anywhere, I might as well just keep farming as well. It's not like Ezreal's really going to outscale me. I mean, it's not like he's Kog'Maw or anything. Ezreal's still good late, but he's not like leaps and bounds better than Caitlyn is. So we go through. I go through with my E again, try to stop a Mumu. Obviously, they're trying to surrender here. You can see. I guess they just kind of gave up. We were like 12k gold ahead, and they didn't even realise it. At the end, I was pretty fed there. You just need that Infinity Edge Phantom Dancer combo on Caitlyn, and if any of you get Bloodthirster on Caitlyn, don't get it on Caitlyn, because you just need that crits with your auto attacks, because your spells don't really do much even when you get the Bloodthirster. I just really think you can't pass up the Infinity Edge on Caitlyn, much like Tristana. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, it's been a good breakdown, and stay tuned for another one soon.